Hello Newcastle fans, welcome to another video. It's been a couple of days and yeah, I just wanted to put some content out there. I've been busy on Twitter. If you follow me on there, you'll know all about it. We've got the latest transfer news, talking about different sort of systems Newcastle might play with those new signings. Just overall a great chat. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe and like as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. I'm just going to hit it off with the major breaking news of the day. It came from Luke Edwards' Telegraph saying Newcastle are set to open formal talks with Brighton over the signing of Joao Pedro. He's become a priority target. Brighton value the forward at around £60 million. And initially, a lot of Newcastle fans were quite upset due to the fact that they were sort of teased that it would be much more of a bigger news outbreak. Myself, I thought it was something bigger as well. But we can't underestimate how key this is. If Newcastle are going to go and enter talks, they're ready to put in a bid of like 60 million. It shows that they're serious about it. And Joao Pedro himself wants the move. And I put this tweet out. It's like, Newcastle fans unhappy with the Joao Pedro news. Stay on that side. When he starts killing defensive blocks and linking up with Isak, I don't want you celebrating. Genuinely was excited to see how good he can become. Obviously, it's not a done deal. But I genuinely think, when I look at the play of Joao Pedro, I've looked at a lot of clips of him, a lot of 90 minutes of Joao Pedro. I think he elevates Newcastle. I really, really do. And there's been a lot of questions about how. So let's get into that. Firstly, out of possession. Newcastle United are one of the best out of possession sides in the world. Really good pressing statistics, really intense. And Joao Pedro, he matches that. In terms of ground duels, he has 13.7 ground duels per game, and he wins 5.5 of them, which is in the top 17% of players in Europe. In terms of aerial duels, he's in the top 20%, winning those aerial duels. And dribble pass, he's in the top 21% in terms of not many people dribble past Joao Pedro. And that's key, especially if you're going to be one of the front guys in the press, whether that's from central positions or wide positions. He'll be sort of triggering a press. So to have that sort of player who doesn't get beaten that many times is really, really key. And I sort of looked at Anthony Gordon's stats, because a lot of Newcastle fans are like, look at how intense Gordon is in the press. Joao Pedro is better in every single metric. Ground duels 1, Joao Pedro is better. Aerial duels 1, Joao Pedro is better. Dribble pass, Joao Pedro is better. So that's key. That's really, really key. I think he will be able to come into the side, and adaptation wouldn't be as hard as Newcastle fans are making it out to be. We also had this statistic I was researching, and in terms of pressing, Brighton are in the 84th percentile, which means they're in the top 16% of sides when it comes to pressing and intensity and getting onto the opposition from the front to the back. Newcastle United are in the top 18%. So it actually came out that Brighton are more of a pressing side than Newcastle. So obviously, with that being the case, Joao Pedro isn't going to struggle joining a team who is slightly worse at pressing. Not worse at pressing, but less likely to trigger a press than someone like Brighton. So you can see Eddie Howe's put a lot of research into this. This is probably the one team where you could literally pick out any player from Brighton and be like, come into Newcastle and they'd fit like a glove. Baleba, get him in, he'll fit like a glove. Adingra or, Ruta, whoever you want to pick from a Brighton side, put them in Newcastle. They wouldn't struggle because pressing-wise, they're very, very similar. And sort of physicality, I was actually quite shocked to see that Brighton rank higher than Newcastle in terms of physicality. Brighton in the 64th percentile, which means the top 36% of teams. Newcastle actually in the 34th percentile, which means they are only just about in the top 66% of physicality when it comes to sort of that aspect of football. So quite interesting, and those sort of things, I looked into it and I thought, yeah, Joao Pedro has the fundamentals, the ability himself to really thrive. Now let's get on to a bit of defender news, and it came from the same source, Luke Edwards, The Telegraph, saying Newcastle United have regularly sent scouts to watch Sporting Lisbon. Mark Gay is also a target, but recognised they failed to sign him last summer. And I've also been propping up Ousmane Diomande, because I remember a couple of seasons ago in the Europa League when Arsenal were in that competition, an Ivorian centre-back rocked up to the Emirates and put one of the best defensive performances in. I really genuinely believe that when he was on the ball, he was just 19 years old at the time. I think he's only 21 at the minute. He was really, really good. And I did put out this tweet as well. I said, the hype has sort of died down for him. Not many teams are sort of talking about him, but that's the best time to go and get him. I think he'll be available for around 40 million. So the same as a Gahey. And I think his ceiling is much higher as well. He's taller, he's bigger stature, he's quicker. I think in the duels he's very impressive as well. He can play in the right back position, in the DM position as well, to a top level. So he's got that versatility as well, And you're talking about Fabian Schär, a player who's been so pivotal to Newcastle United. Diamonde has the passing ability of him. He has the driving in the middle of the pitch of Fabian Schär too. So in terms of like-for-like centre-half replacements, I think Diamonde is quite good. You know, you got Gahey, who's also quite good, but Diamonde himself is quite good. I was really, really impressed. See that Newcastle are looking at a player of this sort of ability. In terms of matches played, he's played 45 this season before 37. So that gradual increase, sort of player who's being embedded now, a mainstay. He won the league. I think he won the cup as well. So he's used to winning as well. And I think Newcastle are hitting that stage where they want to win regularly. And Botman, Diamonde as two centre-halves, both young. That's 5, 6, 7 years of quality centre-halves to last you for a really, really long time. The last one was Anthony Elanga. Nottingham Forest, Anthony Elanga is still a long-standing target. Newcastle United are aware of his asking price, 50 million, which is quite steep. And I put, sort of this thing out in terms of Anthony Elanga. He'll be a brilliant footballer, but you want variety in the front line. Newcastle have got profiles which are road runners. Barnes and Gordon are road runners in terms of counter-attacking situations, 1v1 direct on the touchline. They are very, very good. But what they need is variety in the front line. And that's how you go from challenging for the top 4 to being title contenders, by having different profiles in the front line, or profiles which are similar, but they had something different in terms of either ball striking, creativity, outlet. And, Elanga, he has some of those things, but he doesn't have a left foot. And I know it's going to sound absolutely ridiculous to say that. And of course, players can play on the right and not be left-footed. But in terms of opening up passing lanes, opening up different angles, Elanga wouldn't be able to do that because although he's not bad on his left foot, his first instinct is to use his right. And that's why I've always been a massive advocate for Mr. Adeyemi at Dortmund. And he's available for £45 million as well. So even cheaper than Elanga, Champions League experience. And I put this tweet out as well. A lot of Newcastle fans weren't feeling it. Not at all. And I kind of watched his performance against Real Madrid in the UCL final. And I thought, this guy's threatening. Okay, he's not finishing his actions up. But these are the players you go for. Those ones which big clubs are scared to take a gamble on, because I want Arsenal to get Adeyemi as well. I think he'll be a great fit for Liverpool as well with Mo Salah there. Man City as well, a runner like him would be good. Chelsea. I look at those teams and feel like he can really make an impact. But no one is sort of confident enough to take that sort of jab. Newcastle were confident enough to take the jab at Isak, and look how it's worked out. Adeyemi can be the sort of player where you're like, yes, thank God we took that jab, only 23 as well. And he looks so threatening against Real Madrid. He can play left wing, centre forward, right wing. It's really, really good. And before I end this video, I just want to talk about William Asula and Cordera. I've been keeping a close eye on them at the Euros, and he's been really, really impressive. He genuinely has been quite impressive out there, the both of them. I think Cordera can play both flanks and he's a hard worker, but Asula, I love his profile. I think he's going to be absolutely incredible very soon. He's only 21 years of age. He's scoring goals for fun in this youth tournament, and he just looks the part. A player who's really confident in his ability. I think Eddie Howe really got to trust him next season, give him more minutes, more meaningful minutes, and we'll see him shine. But anyway, that's it for now. Hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, peace.